Hi, my name is Jacqueline Paul, and I'm the project lead for the Mi'kmaw initiative. You're going to be hearing from my colleagues Elizabeth Burton, policy analyst, and Heather McNeil, our legal advisor. So we are from the Mi'kmaw initiative, which means keeping our children together. And our team works out of the Mi'kmaw Mi'kmaw Rights Initiative office. We are working to draft a Mi'kmaw Customary Code and policies to reclaim Mi'kmaw jurisdiction over child welfare from the province. The work we are doing on the Mi'kmaw Customary Code is an exercise of Aboriginal right and self-governance and does not derogate from the Aboriginal treaty and inherent rights of the Mi'kmaw rights holders. The Mi'kmaw Customary Code and policies will also remain in draft form until they are ratified and can be changed based on the feedback we receive from our stakeholders.
So in this video, we're going to be talking about the principles and worldview that ground the Mi'kmaw Customary Code and policies, and how these are being used to make sure that the Customary Code and policies are different from the current provincial child welfare laws, and so that the Customary Code and policies have cultural meaning to the Mi'kmaw.
The purpose of the Mi'kmaw Customary Code is threefold. Number one, to promote the best interests, safety, and well-being of Mi'kmaw children and their families. Number two, to promote healthy Mi'kmaw families and communities. And number three, to promote a Mi'kmaw child and family well-being system that reflects Mi'kmaw principles and values, community involvement, and support. The policies are also developed with this purpose in mind. We heard from our stakeholders that it's important to begin the Mi'kmaw Customary Code with what we call our Mi'kmaw beginnings and foundations. We've included the Mi'kmaw creation story and the Mi'kmaw 7 sacred teachings to set the stage for what the Customary Code is about and to ground it in the Mi'kmaw worldview.
The 7 sacred teachings have also been used throughout the policies and assessment tools we're developing, so that they guide the day-to-day practice with Mi'kmaw children and families. For example, we've included the 7 sacred teachings in our assessments of carers and adopting parents. So this will help social workers assess whether carers and adopting parents have the tools to connect Mi'kmaw children to their culture and identity. They also guide social workers in how they do assessments so that they can build relationships in a good way and frame their recommendations in a Mi'kmaw worldview.
So we have also included an acknowledgement and honor section that gives thanks to everyone who has contributed to the development of the Mi'kmaw Customary Code, which includes you. The acknowledgement and honor section also honors our ancestors who have left for the spirit world and for the work that they have done in improving child welfare practice over many years. Elders, youth, Mi'kmaw youth, and the Mi'kmaw Grand Council have gifted us with many principles that guide the Mi'kmaw Customary Code and policies, and also speak to the spirit of the Customary Code and policies. These principles are really very important because they are intended to guide everyone working under the Customary Code and policies in their day-to-day work with Mi'kmaw children and families. They also center the importance of children to the Mi'kmaw and to the future of the Mi'kmaw nation. Some examples of the principles in the Mi'kmaw Customary Code I'm going to actually give you two of them. The first one is, Mi'kmaw children are the most precious gift to the Mi'kmaw and vital to the integrity of the Mi'kmaw nation and should be cared for in accordance with their distinct culture, traditions, and language. Here's another one. The Mi'kmaw of Nova Scotia have their own worldview of protecting, caring, fostering well-being, and raising children so they thrive and are proud of who they are.
We've also used principles to start each chapter of the policies, which are specific to how social workers can practice supporting Mi'kmaw children and families in a culturally safe way. Some examples we've included are the best interests of a Mi'kmaw child includes their culture, traditions, and language. So we recognize that Mi'kmaw children do better when they're brought up in their culture, traditions, and language, and decisions that impact them should include those considerations. Another one is Mi'kmaw culture, traditions, and language are included in the concept of the best interests of a Mi'kmaw child, and consideration and respect for Mi'kmaw community's differences in culture and traditions is fundamental. The policies begin with a chapter that outlines the roles and responsibilities of everyone in supporting Mi'kmaw children and families, including social workers, our leadership, the Mi'kmaw Grand Council, and community members. We think this is very important because we've heard that everyone can have a role in supporting Mi'kmaw children and families to live happy and healthy lives. The beginning chapter in the policies also lay out some key principles for good social work practice, such as being culturally safe and appropriate, using a trauma-informed lens, building relationships with people, and including children and families in decisions made about them. So thank you so much for listening. We're hoping you keep an eye out on our social media and YouTube pages for our next video, which is going to be on the definitions, jurisdiction, and approving of the Mi'kmaw Customary Code. Thank you.